I am so glad that everyone can join us today on Look Up.
Yeah.
It is a podcast that I've wanted to do for years for local people in Metcalfe and surrounding counties that just are motivational, inspirational, um, just might put a little happy in your day or just might give you that little spark to make you want to get up and do something new in your life, do a new hobby, or just have the gumption to get out there and do it. And the very first person I wanted to interview is such a joy. He's Tanner Jesse,
Yes.
born and raised here in Metcalfe County.
Yes.
But he is an inspiration to me, and I know he will be to you. So, Tanner, tell us about yourself.
Well, like you said, my name's Tanner Jesse. I have lived in Metcalfe County my whole entire life. So everybody knows everybody. So you was the principal for my older brother, so we have that kind of a relationship. So, kind of a little bit about me right now is I officiate football, which is mostly what I like to be known for. I have been doing high school ball. This will be my fourth season. And then I got into officiating college football, and this will be my second season. Last year I made a crew, is what we call it. So every game you'll go out with the same people, and I done a second round playoff game in Indianapolis last year. I graduated from Metcalfe in 2023, so I haven't been out that long. Early. Well, no, it wasn't early. I stayed a supplemental year. I stayed a supplemental year.
So college.
So COVID put me in high school for 5 years. I took a year. So what you could actually do was you could take college classes at a discounted rate because you're still in high school. So college, I was only in for about a year and a half. So I didn't go to college as long, but technically I still got all my hours because I went to extra year high school and got all my credit hours and graduated from Sky CTC with my associate in science last May, and I'm now a certified clinical medical assistant here in Edmonton. So that's I don't think I'm missing anything. I think I covered it pretty well. So
what a blessing it is for us to have you right back here. And so, first of all, you were saying you call games. That's a family tradition.
It is. My dad, he done all the sports. He done basketball for a while. He done I don't know if he ever done baseball. I think he done softball, and he done football for a while.
Yes.
And then his health kind of declined, and he had to step away from it. But he had a long career. My oldest brother, he started officiating football right out of high school. He has done a state championship game, just like my father has. In football, he's done a state championship game in softball, and he is now a Division I umpire in softball, and he's somewhere about every week. So, yes, to say that officiating is in my blood is pretty accurate.
Oh yes, and I have to say, give back and pay it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad was so good about, our kids kind of all grew up together. Your older siblings and my sons. And your dad was always coaching, was always officiating, free, I'm sure, because it was a little league and knowing him it was free.
Yeah.
But he was there for anybody who ever needed anything. And just what a wonderful, dear person. And while we're on officiating, how many nights a week? I mean, you work a full-time job, and then you still officiate D1.
I do NAIA. NAIA college football.
Yes.
My brother does Division I softball though.
Okay.
So the difference between NAIA Division I type stuff is every official has pretty much the same story. You start with little kids, and you work your way up to middle school, then high school, and then you do some low-level college stuff, and then you start working your way up. So on that topic, one thing that I do to work my way up is I do Division I scrimmages. So I have Western's red and white game on April the 11th. So
big deal in bowling.
yeah.
Yes.
So I have that game in about a month. So that's a big deal to me right now. It's going to be my first Division I scrimmage. So that's going to be a pretty cool atmosphere and everything. But to get back to your question though, yes, high school, you could be doing games Monday, Tuesday. They try to skip Wednesday for church and everything. And then you can be back at it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then skip Sunday if you wanted to. Like this past weekend, I was in Bowling Green doing a 7-on-7. And what that is if you know about football, it's receivers and corners, safeties. They call them DBs, and it's just passing, and it's no hitting. So it's like AAU kind of thing, but for football. So I was doing that last weekend. So if you want to be busy with officiating, you can.
And you definitely are busy, I have to say. And what a neat thing. I mean, if you love sports and you really want to be in the thick of it, and I think it's pretty cool. And we were talking off camera just a second ago. You don't let age stop you.
No.
I mean, to be I'm on the senior end of that. You should never let age stop you. And I know that you're officiating where there are men that are older than you on the field.
Yes. Like I said, there's sometimes I'll be on the field and some of the players are older than I am, and when I'm doing a college game. And my first few years of officiating, I played against some of the high schoolers that I was officiating. So if I'd done a Clinton County game or a Monroe County game, that game I'm officiating, I've played against everybody on the field. So it wasn't like I had imposter syndrome or anything. I knew these people well. so yeah, it was it's a thing to where I just kind of stepped into the role of being an official. I stopped being a player. Now let's switch our mindset to be an official now, regardless of my age.
I was going to say it's ageless. It is non-geographical.
Yes. You
have to be totally and completely professional. And I know from being an old high school principal at many games, I really appreciate the professionalism of the officials on the field and how they treat all those involved. And so on behalf of all the principals, the administrators, the chain gang, the parents, we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, and we appreciate all the game management people, because sometimes if we've got our hands tied and we can't do anything about something, we come to y'all. So it's kind of like a brotherhood, sisterhood kind of relationship there. So we work together.
Be on your toes.
We do.
Many times I've told a parent, don't. Yeah. I want you to stay the rest of the game. Watch your child. Move back.
Exactly.
Well, I've got a few questions I want to ask you because everyone interested.
Yeah.
Because at age 21, many people are still trying to figure out life.
Right.
What experience shaped your drive so early?
And I'll try not to give too long of an answer to these.
You can be too long.
So something that was life-changing for me was when I was 16 years old. I had the opportunity to go to Texas and play in a game. I was selected for the U16 USA team, and I wore this hoodie for a reason, because I had a feeling that you might ask me something about that, and I knew that I would probably tell this story. So the process is they send an email or a letter out to every high school coach in the country. Is what they do. And they say, give this letter to your players. Sometimes they'll act on it. Sometimes they don't. So I got it. Obviously, at that point, I didn't know that everybody in the country got this letter. I was like, I'm good. I was like, so I filled out the form and everything, and there was a selection process. So the first place that I went was somewhere, I think it was Atlanta, Georgia. It might have been in one of the surrounding places there, but we'll just say Atlanta, Georgia. So I went there, and it was just like every other football camp. They didn't want anybody getting hurt or anything. They just wanted to see footwork, skill, that kind of thing. So I went there and performed, I thought, at a reasonable skill level. I didn't think anybody ran over me. At the same time, I didn't think I ran over anybody else either. So I got some good contacts there, and I went home not really expecting anything about it. Because the whole time I was there, it was like I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Metcalf. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. So I done that, and I went home not thinking anything about it. Just thought it was a cool experience. Well, my mom got an email about I'd say about a month or two later, and they invited back the top 15% from all the regionals around the United States. So they had a regional in, I think it was 30 states, I believe, 32 states, something like that. That way everybody in the country could come to one local and be able to do it. So they invited back the top 15% of the players of their position. So I went to this place in Canton, Ohio, and this camp was a padded camp. We had shoulder pads, helmets, knee pads. It was the full deal. Same thing. I'm from Metcalf. I don't think I belong there. So
I don't think I belong there. It's so big.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's what yes. The kids are bigger than I am. They're faster than I am. I told myself I have to rely on skill. On when I get on the field, I need to be confident. So we go through this 3-day process, and they treated us like college players. We was put in a dorm. We had team meetings. We had position meetings, all this stuff. And I performed, like I said, in the regionals. I performed, I thought, at a reasonable skill level. And I left there thinking, well, that's my ceiling. That's it right there. That's as good as it gets. I know what college is going to be like now, and it'll be cool if I get to play college somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I kind of gave up on it. About 2 or 3 months went by. November came around, and I still hadn't heard anything. I saw on Twitter where everybody's like, can't wait to go to Texas to play his game. And I was like, man, I didn't get selected, but it's fine. Early December comes, and I finally get my email that I've been selected to the U16 select team, and we're going to play the country Panama in Dallas, Texas in January. So,
That's huge.
So I was like, I was like, wow. But the same feeling came around. I'm from a small town. I don't belong here. Mm-hmm. And so I went there not expecting to play or anything like that. Go to my first position meeting, and there's 10 of us. So on an offensive line, that's what I got selected for, is offensive line. So there's 10 guys there. So they're going to start 5, and there's going to be a second string of 5. And I'm sitting in our hotel lobby there because they put us up in a hotel, so because we had to learn the playbook and everything. So it was all week long team meetings and all this.
Cram course.
Yes. So all this stuff, and I overheard someone say that that one of the linemen they selected got hurt. Now, I have made this story up in my head. I don't know if it's true, but in my mind, in that moment, the only reason I'm here is because somebody got hurt. Same thought process. I don't belong here. I'm from a small town. All these things started running around in my head, and we started practicing. We played on a Saturday in the biggest stadium square foot in the United States. And at that point, I've never been in a stadium like that because, like I said, I'm from here. So we get to Friday, and coach starts bringing everybody out of our hotel room individually to talk to us. I didn't know what it was about, but he talked to everybody, and I was probably one of the last ones he talked to. And he said, Tanner, I've liked what you've done this week. He said, but I would like to let you know that tomorrow morning, we play in the morning. He said, you're going to be starting at right guard for us. And I basically just broke down. Not in front of him, obviously. I was trying to act cool, calm, and collected. But I think that was the trigger point for me where I was like, it doesn't matter that I'm from wherever I'm from. Or if you're watching, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you really truly put time in and you want something as bad as you want anything else, if you put the time in for it, you can accomplish whatever you want to do. So that is that's the kind of turning point in my life where not only did my perspective on things change, but everything for me changed.
And attitude had to be everything too. You
Yes.
had to push out the negative.
Mm-hmm.
That voice is always there.
Yes, yes, yes.
What did it feel like running in?
Well, the another funny thing is, I almost forgot to say this, is that the morning of, we learned that we was going to be on offense first. And if you've ever watched I don't know if they do this all the time. I've only been in one NFL game. But if you start on offense, your offensive players get introduced individually and they'll run out of a tunnel. So I have a video, and I was the first one. They was like from Edmonton, Kentucky, number 56, Tanner Jesse, and I ran out of this tunnel in this big stadium. And, you know, little old me is on this 80-yard or 60-yard TV, biggest TV I've ever seen, and there's my smug face on it, and I'm like, wow. So, yeah, it was awesome. It really was. It was something that I can lay down at the end of my life and say that if nothing else, I'm proud I got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've always been a person in education that they have to see it to want it.
Yes.
They have to see it. They have to experience it.
Yep.
I'm all about these schools, getting the students interested in CTE programs, getting them on campuses, getting them on college campuses, getting them on community college campuses, and showing them there's more out there.
Yes.
And but they have to see it to want it.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to say, because of, I know what your mission with all this stuff is that no matter what you do in your life, there's going to be somebody that's going to tell you that you can't, or that that's not a good idea. But I want to say that if there's someone young, or even someone that's not young, that's kind of doubting theirself, if you really want to do it and you're scared of what other people will think, just jump. The first step is always the hardest.
Yes.
So,
because there's always going to be someone, or you're always going to have something right there going, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. I've wanted to do a podcast now going on 4 years.
Yes.
My middle son has stayed on me. Mom, do this.
Yeah.
And it's that little thing. You can't do this.
Yep.
People will say, oh, that's silly, you know?
Yeah.
And you just got to put that step forward.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really try to hammer on when I talk to people is the way that you talk to yourself is very important, because you're in your mind 24 hours a day. If there's someone that's talking bad about you or not talking to you in a way that you are necessarily happy about, might last 10, 15 minutes, but you're in your head 24 hours a day. So I work in a psychiatrist's office for a medical assistant. Mental health is very, very important.
Huge. And more now than ever.
Yes.
Why?
I think it's a thing where you see someone on social media, or you see someone that is at such a physical level, or at a, for lack of a better word, of an attractiveness level, that you try to compare yourself to them, when in reality you two are living two totally different lives. You never know where they had to come from, and they don't know where you had to come from. You have two different genes. So when you see somebody that's at a great, they look great, when you talk to them, they are charming, everything, but you never know what's going on in the background, like a mental health. And so I think that the thing is we see people that are doing better than us, and that kind of lowers our self-esteem, because we're like, I'm not doing as good as they are, so am I really am I really doing anything because I'm not where they are? But it doesn't really matter where they are, because you need to make sure that you're at a happy place.
You have to work on what's going on.
Yes. So everybody has this thing to where they want to be, or they have a kind of a milestone of, this is what success looks like, and that's all they chase.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, you made that milestone based off what everybody else told you success is. What I think success really is what makes you happy. Is success making $1 million? If that makes you happy, yes. But money doesn't buy happiness.
No.
Is success marrying somebody that you love and having kids with them and living off the land? If that makes you happy, then yes, that's success.
That's right.
That's right.
Success is not,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, you see movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a dear friend who waits tables in Los Angeles, California.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me, she waits on these people that are movie stars, okay? Movie stars.
Yeah.
And she goes, they are literally the people I pity more than anyone in my life.
Yeah.
Because they're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not happy.
Yeah.
And she said, I can just feel it when I'm waiting on them. And, they literally want her, the waitress, to talk to them and bring them up.
Yeah.
So it's success is, I just contentedness. I just want to be content.
Yeah. But if the milestone for you for success is lower than what everybody else thinks it should be, so be it. They don't, like I said, they're not in your mind. You're in your own mind. So if that makes you happy, then that's what you need to do.
Well, you're somebody, and I get to see him when I go work out with my husband. I love to go with him uptown, our little workout gym there. You're there at 5, you're there at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I mean, when you were in high school, you were there.
Yeah.
What habit do you incorporate in your day that you have sustained throughout your life?
Yeah.
What would your productive day look like?
Productive day for me, it would. Here's the thing for me right now is I like to get things done early so I can be present in the afternoon. So if I can get up at 5 and be at the gym at 5:30, 5:45, I've had coffee, so I'm not, sleepy or whatever. I can get that done. So now the hardest part of the day is over. I can go to work. I can do all that thing and not have to worry about, I got to go work out and do all these things, because I've already done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of ease myself throughout the day, which brings my stress levels down. And when I go home, I don't have to go spend an hour and a half in the gym, because I've already done that. So that part is over.
And do we love 5 a.m.?
No, we do not at all. But I think it, for me, is necessary, because when I go, I feel better, not only physically throughout the day, but mentally too. Because in my mind, I know that I've done something that is difficult. And difficult is something that is different for people who have different kind of capabilities, right? So difficult for me is going to be difficult for you. It's going to be difficult for you. Our levels of difficulty are going to be totally different. So one thing that I heard, it's probably been a year or so ago, because I started reading more. So
good for you. What you're putting in.
Yes.
It matters.
So one thing that I read, and it's really stuck with me, is this person, the author that I was reading, they would also wake up early and go to the gym. And he said, his name is Cameron Hanes, by the way. He's a really inspirational guy. Cameron Hanes, he said, people mistake what I do for being hard or being difficult. He said, this stuff that I do, he runs ultra marathons, he lifts, he does all this stuff. He said, this stuff that I do is not hard. It's not difficult. He said, what's difficult is being diagnosed with cancer. What's difficult is losing your father, losing your mother. He said, that is difficult. He said, what I do is I prepare my body and myself for my tough times. He said, this gets me through. He said, I don't look at this as being difficult or being hard. He said, this is just plain old necessary. So that's how he looks at it. And that's kind of the mindset that I try to have. But when you wake up at 5 and you're sleepy and all that stuff, then you're kind of thinking, I don't know, this is difficult.
What I give is just to lay here.
Yes.
And that brings me to a question that what keeps you disciplined when motivation fails? You know, there's a difference between discipline and motivation.
Yes. So I've worked with some linemen this winter, and one thing that I've told them, and I kind of just came up with this on my own, is there's levels to how we talked about success. There's motivation. The next step is exhaustion. If you can get past exhaustion, you start building discipline. If you have discipline, then you can have success. So there's 4 steps to success. There's motivation, there's exhaustion, there's discipline, and then there's success.
You got to push through exhaustion to hit.
Because how many people, even people listening, how many times have you woke up one morning and you're like, this morning I'm going to change my life. And then you do it for a week or two and it just kind of falls apart because of exhaustion.
Oh, yes.
Because of this diet that I'm doing is just, I've done it either wrong or it's not the one for me. And that exhaustion sets in. And then one day it flips back over and you're back to square one again. And you're motivated. Yes. So motivation is the first step. And if you can get past exhaustion, I think exhaustion is the worst stage to get past. So. And
exhaustion is different forms. Like elaborate on exhaustion because it's not
so
like you ran 10 miles.
No. Exhaustion is it's really a mindset. Because people will work all day and then say, oh, I'm exhausted. They're talking about physically they're exhausted. But the kind of exhaustion that I'm kind of referring to is when you wake up early on Monday, then you wake up early on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and you're starting to, feel exhausted physically, but you're also starting to feel exhausted mentally as well.
That's right.
Or if you're in school and you're studying all the time and reading this book, I'm just not getting it. I'm not getting this material, and you start to get mentally exhausted from it.
It's like a wall you're pushing through.
Yes.
You got to push through that wall.
Yes. You got to say, hey, I'm at an exhaustion point right now. Give me a few minutes, a few hours, give me a day, and I'll come back to it. There's nothing wrong with taking a few minutes or taking a few hours or pushing something for a day if you pick back up on it. The problem is that we say, I'm going to eat this Twinkie and cookies today, but I know I'm not supposed to because I'm on a diet. I'm going to eat it today, but I'm not going to do it tomorrow. I'm not going to do it tomorrow. And then what ends up happening? Exactly. You eat it tomorrow, and then you eat it the next day, and then it starts becoming a habit, and then you start getting disciplined on the wrong thing.
That's right. You're getting pushed backwards. Yes. I know. Yeah. I have to say, like, I work out because at age 63, you're really pushing against, you got to keep the oxygen going to the brain. So against senility, arthritic joints, as long as you keep everything moving, it's going to keep moving.
Right. But
I had an illness for 2 weeks. So getting up at 5 in the morning was exhaustion for me.
Yes.
It was exhaustion.
Yes.
And I literally had to start the discipline again after pushing through 3 consecutive days of working out.
Yeah.
If I didn't have Robert getting me out of bed saying, okay, you're better now, there's no excuse.
Yep. Excuses. It's like, it's like anything. Everybody's got one.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, how powerful is it to you?
I like, Dwayne Johnson, The
Yep.
Rock.
Yep.
This is an interview I saw with him. It's been about 20 some years ago, but he said there's one big decision I have to make every day. And he said at 4:00 in the morning, do I get out of bed and work out, or do I not?
Yeah.
It's the biggest decision I have in my day, and it creates how my day is going to be.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is. But one thing I do want to say is that everybody is on their own journey, and we're talking about different kind of habits that we have. And one habit that I've started is I have started dieting, like, not strictly, but I watch my calories, protein, all that stuff.
It's a nutritional course you're on.
Yes. So my whole life, I've been lifting and all these stuff, and I've kind of been neglecting the diet part. So I've started a diet. I'm down about 10 pounds right now. So I'm on my own journey. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm on my own journey. And but if anybody wants to start their own journey, like I said earlier, the first step is the hardest. How do I do it? What workouts do I do? Do I work out? I mean, what does working out look like? Is going on a walk, like, I don't want to lift. Is that a workout? Yes, it is. Movement. Get out there and get moving, No
matter how, I have a dear friend who's in a long-term care facility. She does chair exercises, and she gets around that nursing home better than anybody else because she does her chair exercises. And she does stretches in the morning in the bed before she gets out of the bed.
Yes.
And, it all depends on who you are and what you want from your body, from your life.
Right.
But you're right.
Yes.
What you put in is what you're going to get out. And that's really cool. 10 pounds. I think that's the hardest thing on earth to do, is to lose weight.
Yeah, hopefully it keeps going. I'm trying to look good on the field. So
very impressive.
Trying to look good on the field.
Now, the old teacher in me, I've got to ask,
okay.
Has there been, and I'm sure you have had multiple, but have you had a mentor, a teacher, or a book? You brought up a book at your kind of.
Yeah.
Tell me something that helps motivate you, or someone.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, there's a lot of people that motivate me. But one person that really, really stands out to me when people say, who motivated you, all these things, is Coach L.J. Harbison. That's, if he's watching, I don't want to hear it.
But just talk and talk.
Yeah. Yes. So when he tells us to do all of these things, when I was playing, he would put these workouts up on the board and all this stuff. I'd be like, man, that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of reps. But after practice, guess what he was doing? He was doing these things. So you look at this and you start building a respect to him, because there's nobody else telling him to do it. So I think that's where my influence started, is when I went up there, because I started going up there in 6th grade. I was part of the group, one of the first groups that he invited up as middle schoolers to start lifting with him, which is a phenomenal idea, by the way.
Yes.
So I started going up there, and I would see him.
Talking about mentoring.
Yes, mentoring. And I would see him doing all these exercises, and to me at that age, it was like, you're old, right? You don't have to do this. like you're not playing any sports or anything. Like chill a little bit. But he would, come every year, 7th, 8th grade, freshman, sophomore, junior, after every practice, we would be sweating and all this stuff, and I'd be driving home, look on the side of the road, and there he is running. So it was just one of those things that really inspired me as a young kid, and he just really he steps up as a coach. But if you need someone to look up to, if you, let's say you don't want to play football or whatever, he's somebody you can look up to as a influence of how to better your life. Because when you look around at people his age, more than likely he's going to be the best physically looking there because of all the workouts that he does. So I think that's one thing that's really stuck with me after my playing days, because one thing that everybody says is, yeah, you look all right now. Wait till you get out to high school, it'll get worse. But that doesn't have to be the truth. It doesn't have to be the truth. But I you know,
I think the world of him and his wife Ashley. They are just wonderful, incredible parents. And I have to tell you, this is how old I am. I cheered with his mother, Karen Keel, in high school.
Yeah.
You talk about a cheerleader, could tumble the floor, do stunts, 3 people high, incredible. But his dad, mom, Larry and Karen both have set an example for their sons to be active throughout their life. I mean, Larry, how many of us have seen him running the road?
Oh, yeah.
And they live miles out of town, and he would run. And he and Karen have always walked, and they've always put fitness a very huge part of their life.
Yeah, and another person, I was kind of looking at the physical aspect of influence, but another person that influenced me is my mom, because she has done so much, maybe not physically, but her mental smartness, her mental toughness, everything about her mind is something that I look up to.
I'm so glad you brought her up,
Yes.
because you need to tell everyone, and you don't have to say at what age, but later in her life, when a lot of people are like, okay, well, I'm going into maybe deciding going to retirement or something, she totally changes, not changes careers, but enhances careers.
Yes, that comes back to happiness. What does success look like for you? So she was in a position to where she had been doing primary care, which, if you don't know what primary care means, that just means illnesses. So physical illnesses, you got a sore throat, you got the flu, that kind of stuff. So she done that for years and years and years. And, you know, at some point in your life, you probably get burnt out on it. If you do it for that long, you're going to have to absolutely love it, you know. But she was looking for something different. And so she went back to school, and she became a psychiatrist. And at that age, she had, I forget if we'd already adopted the 2 twins, and that's another story about not only her mental state but her heart as well.
Yes.
But she went back to school while she had already raised 4 kids at this point. Well, I mean, technically not raised me yet, but I was old enough.
Incredible.
Yeah. So she went back to school, and, you know, every night I would go in there, and
now this is with little ones.
Yes. And she was in her bedroom, textbook in hand, reading.
Discipline, my friend.
Yes. So
I promise you, she's exhausted.
Yeah. Yes. So that's another person that I definitely don't want to leave out of your question, because the mental aspect of how she does things. She's not afraid to work the extra hours, not afraid to go above and beyond for what she knows needs to be done. So that's kind of an attitude that I bring toward not only work, but I can even put that into my workouts, into all this stuff, is pushing past the point of not only physical exhaustion, which I got that physical toughness or that mental toughness from her, is now we can do, I mean, the possibilities are endless because of what she's instilled in me mentally.
there's no reason any of us can need to say I can't.
Yeah.
There's no can't
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah.
And honestly, she just absolutely is so motivational for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Dana Emerton Tenius, who is about my age, went back to school. She was an RN. She got her certification. Now she's a nurse practitioner.
Yes.
You know, ageless.
Yes.
Ageless.
Yes. And another thing is, you say ageless, all this stuff, don't quit, is my brother, Logan. He has inspired me, because one thing that has really sticked with me in my mind is when I've heard him tell the story about when he found out that he had bone cancer in his leg, and the first thing that ran through his mind was fatality because of the cancer. So,
and he was just in high school.
Yes, and just thinking about that part of what was going through his mind, it's like, how long do I actually have on this earth here? Like, how long do I get to stay here? So if I can do anything to put myself or my family or the people I care about in a better position to where I can stay longer, because you never know when they might need you more than ever. And if you don't take care of yourself and you're not present, you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting the other people around you. And obviously in Logan's situation, he had no control over that. But that's just one of those situations where it opens up your mind to, like, we do only have so long here. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do with our time? Are we going to worry about what other people think? Are we going to worry about what might happen? Let's worry about now. Let's
work to make the world a better place.
Yes.
And what have we contributed to
this
world?
Exactly. Yes.
I'm so glad you brought up Logan, because he is another person
mm-hmm.
who is a light for me,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and all those around
mm-hmm.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
His wife, their family.
Yeah. Yeah. But he, in his mind, at I think he was 13, 14, something like that. But he was young. If I got the age wrong, I'm sorry. But he was young. He was definitely young teens. Yeah, something like that. But in his mind, in the early stages of all that stuff, in his mind, his life was over. So it's scary to think about the things that might happen. So let's live to the fullest now, because you never know.
Yes.
You never know.
If I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have such privy to so much going on in the world, because we have the internet that shows us the minute details of everything now. But we have to put everything in its perspective.
Yes.
Which I've got to swing on around while we're kind of talking a little negative right now. Have you ever had a failure in your life that contributed to you being even more productive?
Yeah. So like I actually have two things that just came to mind while you was asking me that. The dieting thing, the dieting stuff. I've succeeded a little bit, and then I would fall back into those traps. The reason I know about all this, like those stages that I made up, because I've went through them, is I've hit that exhaustion and quit.
Made the sacrifices. Yeah,
I've done these things, and I know what it feels like to say, like, this sucks. I'm not gonna do this, and I quit. But it took those moments to be able to succeed in the ways that I wanted to. And one thing that I really thought about when he was asking me that question was my high school football career. So as a freshman, I won 2 games. Or not I, we won 2 games. My sophomore year, we won 1 game. And then obviously I had 5 years of high school, so I had 2 junior years. My junior year, we won 7. My second junior year, we won 7. And then my senior year, we won 12. So
12 out of how many?
12. We went 12-1.
Okay.
So
That's what
we
I
went
thought.
to the
That
third
was-
round of the state playoffs and lost at Mayfield. Which, if you know anything about Mayfield, it's hard to win at Mayfield. But when he was asking me that, it's like you have to go through failure to be able to succeed. So somebody that's never lost doesn't really truly know what winning feels like because they don't respect loss.
I know it sounds blasé, but
Mm.
you have to experience the valleys to
Mhm.
appreciate the mountains.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, you do.
Exactly.
You can't have just high platform, happy all the time. It's not. It doesn't supposed to be like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And one thing is that I talked to my teammates after we only won 2 games my sophomore year, and you look at the people that was on my senior year team. You look at guys like Wyatt Bly. You look at people like Luke Meadows, Mikey Bennett, Mason Estes, just to name a few. And you think, how did y'all go 2-9 or 2-8 or whatever it was? How did y'all only win 2 games? It's because we haven't failed yet. We don't know how to overcome yet. And once we really started, I don't want to say appreciated, but we started respecting loss. And we know it's a real thing. It can happen. So if we don't work hard, it's going to happen. So that's the kind of mindset we had, was that we have to work hard because we know what losing feels like, and it's not a good feeling. So let's win now.
Sometimes you gotta know what you don't want
Exactly.
to get to where you want.
Exactly. And we knew what we was doing before to lose. Wasn't spending enough time lifting. Wasn't spending enough time looking at the plays, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you kind of come up with a new plan, which is always good. A new plan, So
I love change.
yes, yeah. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
What does life mean to you? I love this. What does life mean to you today versus when you were a freshman in high school?
Oh man. When I was a freshman in high school, it always comes back to the same thing, is I've always had anxiety issues. So I like to open up about these things, and I think this is a good platform to do so, especially if there's someone in high school or somebody in middle school. I would sit in my first period class, and I would be like, oh man, I hope I don't get like sick or something and embarrass myself in here, and I would start to feel sick. I would start to feel lightheaded, and it was like every single day. And it came to the point where I got up and I just walked out of the class because I knew that I was about to go down. And it was all anxiety written. And I don't know where that comes from, but it was awful. And so I do want to say, if you ever feel any kind of anxiety like that, you're not alone in that, because I've felt that before. I'm I don't want to say a victim, but a victim of that,
Yes.
of having to be in my own head a little bit. So I think the biggest difference from when I was a freshman, is how I look at other people. I don't look at them as they're higher than me or they're lower than me. At the end of the day, we're all on this earth and just trying to do the best that we can. So you're not better than me. Nobody's better than me. I'm not better than you. We're all just trying to have a successful, godly life, so we can hopefully spend eternity together.
Yes.
In the right place. So that's kind of the difference. There is the way that I look at other people, and the way that that I kind of carry myself, and not look at other people like, what are they thinking of me? So that's a big difference.
And it's a natural thing. That is a natural human thing
Mm-hmm.
that we have to acknowledge,
Mm-hmm.
which you did
Yeah.
acknowledge, and then it's like, now what do I do with this? It's research. That's the one good thing that the internet will give you.
Yeah.
Is everybody experiences anxiety. If
Yeah.
somebody tells you they're not a nervous or they're not an anxious person, they're lying.
Yeah.
Because life is tough.
It
Life
is.
is tough.
It is.
And there's always, and it's like you said, when you get in your head like that,
Mhm.
you got to find a way out.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed
Mhm.
that you knew to get up and walk away from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I have those episodes,
Mhm.
I physically have to get up and change my location.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
resets.
Anxiety, nervousness. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because they're afraid of judgment. But the thing is, something that I've read is that people that are new to the gym or they don't really like to go to the gym because they're afraid of what other people think about them. It's like you walk in and you're worried about what that person over there doing the bench press is thinking about you. When, let's say if it's me, in reality, I'm thinking, oh man, this next set's gonna be hard. I don't even know you're here yet.
See, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Sometimes we overestimate our importance
Yeah.
on this earth.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't worried about you.
Yeah.
They're worried about their own life.
Exactly. But yeah, this anxiety, all that nervousness stuff, that's changed a lot for me. And, you know, I've made my fair share of bad decisions and have paid for them and all that things. But you have to fail. You have to fail. You have to do wrong. You have to do all these things to learn. And I'm not encouraging you to like do bad things, but just know that when you unintentionally fail and you tried, then that's all you can do, and you have to learn from that.
Yes.
So,
and I really like that saying. What is it? It's not the failure does not determine you. What determines you is how you get up from that failure. Yeah. And there should be people there with hand out helping you up.
Right.
But see, you have incredible mentors to look to. Your mom, your dad, LJ, your friends, your girlfriend.
Right.
It's you surround yourself with people who are positive people.
Right.
But I think it's really funny. You talked about we worry so much that everybody, and sweet little kids, I've noticed this, that they think everybody's looking at them when they get up to do an activity.
Yep.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Everybody's not looking at you.
The thing, thinking about you being in education is, now that we're talking about getting up in front of people, public speaking is something like giving a speech in front of a class. It's funny because now I can kind of look at it from the outside end, whereas when I was in the moment, I couldn't. I would be in class and I would be thinking, oh, everybody's going to make fun of me. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to stutter. I'm going to like not know what to say. When really, when I got up there, the people that were about to go after me or the people that went before me, they was either thinking one of two things. I'm glad I'm done, or please keep talking so I don't have to go up there. so nobody is really judging you as much as you. I mean, they might be, but not as much as you think they are.
Oh, it's the truth.
Not anywhere close.
It's the truth. I have two new heroes in my life. I have to tell you, and you all need to get. I don't know if it's YouTube. Someone sent me the videos. We have a Kentucky Beta state president in our elementary school.
Oh, wow.
And the vice president is from Monroe County, just right next door. You need to look up the speeches they gave. There's usually 2,000 plus kids in the audience.
Yeah.
And they have to get up and give a speech before they're voted on or whatever. And they just blew my socks off.
Yeah.
They started giving a speech, coming up the steps to the stage, had that back straight and the microphone up. Now that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Because if you can get up and do that in front of that many people or 5 people, you can do anything.
Speak to their parents too. Speaks about them.
Yes.
Speaks
very
how
much
how
so.
they was raised.
Well, we're coming into the end, and I just need for you to, just a quick question. If someone could start a habit today, just to start progressing a little to a more positive life, what would you recommend? One habit.
One habit is to set a time every morning and wake up at that time every morning.
Ooh, that's a good
Set a time. Not only is it a circadian rhythm thing, which circadian rhythm is the most simple way to explain it is your mental clock. It says when you need to wake up, when you need to go to sleep. And if you throw that off, then you're going to have other issues that you don't know what the cause is because your mental clock is off. So if you can set a time, wake up at that time, and then maybe after that, once you can do that well, and you push past the exhaustion phase, and you start to get into that discipline phase, then you can start working on your morning routine. And once you start doing those things, you can get the important things done when you wake up, and it will impact the rest of your day, because everything that you think is so important, by noon, it's already done. So now you get to enjoy your entire day without stress.
Think how much more you can fit into your day. Robert's always making fun of me. How much more can you fit in before you get in the car and go to church? How much more can you fit in? But the thing is, if you, instead of just getting up whenever at 6:30, 6:45, get up at 5.
Yeah.
Do an hour of reading, Bible study, workout. Just take a walk.
Yeah.
Just do deep breathing or meditation.
Right.
I started meditation.
Right.
That's
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a new little.
But even it doesn't even have to be 5. You if let's say if you work the night shift and it's not possible, set whatever time it is and just set it. Get up at that time. And contrary, try to set a time you go to sleep. I know that life can get in the way, because I've tried to set a time to go to sleep, but sometimes life just gets in the way. But usually you can set that wake up time and get up at that time, because for me, I get up at 5. There's nothing else going on at 5. But if I try to go to bed at 11 or 10 or 11, and it's been a long night and there's some things I still got to do, I might push it to 11:30, 12, but let's get up at 5. Every now and then I might, sleep till 5:30 or 6, but,
happens.
but
there's 365 days in the year.
Yeah. But that just comes back to, be nice to yourself. You're going to fail. You're going to do all those things. Just, but let's just be better. And just because you slept for an hour, you don't feel like, I'm an hour behind and all that stuff. You're not. You was already so ahead that you was 2 and 3 hours ahead. Now you're just 2 hours ahead. Now you're,
and you're trying.
Yes.
But that's another thing. We as humans are so negative on ourselves.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself.
And
I tell anybody that'll listen to me, put a little sign on the mirror. The very first thing you see in the morning is, lots of times you don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Look at that little sign that says, you are enough.
Yeah.
Or, God loves you. Put something positive there. I like good, better, best, never let it rest here. Good is better and better, best. That's always great on the mirror.
Yeah.
But something that makes you feel, to remind you how special you are.
Yes.
Now, what advice would you give your 12-year-old self?
Oh, man. I would want to tell him so much. So much. One of the big things that I always would say to younger people is just go for it. Just shoot. Just ask. If you want to do something, do it. It goes back to earlier. You don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. You don't know any of that. So, just go for it. Like that it's simple. And I wish I had this glamorous thing to say about it that you could put up on a wall, but just go for it. Ask the girl or the guy, ask somebody to be your friend, or to come to the gym with you if you're a little older. But
I just got to tell you, talking about go for it. How old were you when you asked one of the most incredible fighters to be on your podcast?
Yeah.
Just tell a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, Mr. Stockton, he was an excellent English teacher, and he came up with a kind of like a technology class. And one of our assignments was to do interviews. So we had to do somebody locally. You had to interview them, and then you had to interview somebody abroad, a star. And
teachers still have.
So I was thinking, I was like, I don't know really who I'm gonna do yet. And at that point in my life, I was really big into the UFC. Dana White was a big influence to me. He started working with this nutritionist, or he's a human biologist, is what he is. His name is Gary Brecka, and he started working with him. And I kind of started going down the rabbit hole of the UFC and kind of started watching it. And instantly, one of my favorite fighters was Dustin Poirier. And so when they said a star, I was kind of in my little UFC era.
And even I have heard of Dustin.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna look up Dustin on social media and all this stuff, trainers, things like that, and I'm gonna reach out, see if he'll do a podcast with me. And about, I would say, close to 2.5 hours after I sent the email, he sent one back and said, I might be able to do this. When do you want to do it? Just as cool and calmly collected as you could be, because he's a bro's bro, if you want to say that. But I got to do it, and I still have his phone number. And it opened up another, actually, I didn't tell you this earlier. It opened up another portal there, and I got to interview his strength coach, his strength and conditioning coach, which also does all kinds of other trains all kinds of other athletes and everything. And but it was really cool to talk to Dustin because he is such a star. And one of the podcasts I watch, he's always on it. Joe Rogan, he's always Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is
he's a big UFC.
Yeah, he's a big UFC guy. And if you don't know a lot about podcasts, he has the #1 podcast in the world. So he was on it. So it's just kind of,
so you both interviewed.
It's just kind of, it's kind of cool to connect the stars there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's cool to do those kinds of things. So teachers,
You do touch the future.
Yeah. So I still think about that. So Mr. Stockton, if you're listening, that's something that stuck with me. So
Stocktony.
That's something stuck with me.
Well, way to go, because
Yeah.
I'm telling you that education, you need unique things like that,
Yeah.
unique assignments. I mean, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my final question I want to ask you is, what impact do you want to leave on this world?
I'm going to take that question as a how do I want to be remembered kind of question.
Like
so what I want to be
at 21, I'm asking this.
What I want to be remembered as, no, I've thought about this before.
Oh, okay.
What I want to be remembered as is just somebody that wasn't afraid to talk about and bring to light everyday people's problems, because I think that's something that's missing, is that we put aside the things that everybody is thinking, but nobody has the courage to step up and talk about it. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up during this is anxiety and all that stuff, because I've lived it. I'm still living it. I get anxiety, all that kind of snowball effect, and it can be serious.
Well, it never goes away.
It never goes away.
No, just like an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's not like all of a sudden they're going to, I'm going to stop drinking and I don't crave it anymore. It's a lifelong struggle.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah,
and another thing is that that's kind of my outlook on it right now. But I'm well aware that one day what I want to be the impact is going to change, and one day I'm going to be wanting to be remembered as a great father, a great husband, a great all this kind of milestones in my life. But right now, the first thing that came to mind is to bring to light that people are not alone in their thoughts. Everyone is going through something, whether they want to say it or not. So that's one thing that I want to bring to light there.
I think that's beautiful.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, in this
Mhm.
quick answer society, in this
Mhm.
world of emails and text,
Mhm.
we're not talking to one another.
Mhm.
It's like I noticed the other day, I was telling a really good story to one of my sons, but he was kind of like, "Okay, Mom, your
Yeah.
2 minutes are up." In other words, I should have texted, and maybe they
Yeah.
would have listened
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
We aren't listening to one another.
Mhm.
We're not saying, I'm here and I've got my hand to help lift you up,
Mhm.
because everybody has a struggle,
Mhm.
and that's why I really appreciate you looking at that facet of it, and with your job,
Mhm.
you see it intimately.
Yeah, I see it kind of in a deeper light, because I know my own struggles, but I can also, I don't want to say relate, because that's kind of a touchy subject when you say I know how you feel, and they're kind of thinking like you don't, because and in a way you don't know, you're not in their head, because the way you're describing it to them, they might think that they know what you're talking about, but they might be shifting the story you're telling them in their head to where it's not the exact same. So you can't say that you know what they're talking about. But anxiety in general, I do know what you're talking about. But in your specific case, which is cool to see at all the different aspects of it, um, it's just something that I look at, and I kind of take pride in knowing that every day I get to go and see people and interact with people that we have similar, not the exact same, but similar issues. And you all are bringing it to light, and it's awesome to see people, because the first step to fixing a problem is to realize that you have a problem.
Yes.
So I think it's cool to see that kind of stuff.
I wish
Mhm.
if I could get the government to do anything, it would be to put more mental health professionals
Mhm.
in elementary, fill up the middle school with them, and the
Mhm.
high school.
Yeah.
But our children need to know that there's help
Yes.
out there. You
Yes.
just have to talk to someone who is a
Mhm.
specialist in that area.
Yeah.
That sometimes it's too much. Your best friend can't handle it and help you.
Yeah.
You need to get professional help.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is that it is, we go back to your mission with this kind of
Yes.
thing here, and I think it is based on children, and how they look at the world, and what they think is possible for them. And like I said, it's all about what we are instilling, or putting in their head at a young age.
Yes.
So I think it's awesome that you are trying to bring that to light, even long after um, you're out of the principal position, after you're not out of the school system, but you're not interacting with kids all the time, which I know is probably hard for you because you're so used to it. But I just wanted to say that, is I think it's awesome what you're doing, because like I said earlier, that's something that I struggled with, is can I do something amazing because I'm from here, and now it's like I know it's possible.
Yes.
I know it's possible because I see it in my own house. I say my oldest brother Tyler, he is doing Division I softball, and when I was growing up, I didn't think it was the absolute peak was L.J. Harbison. It was J.P. Belevins.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grow up a little bit, and you see Mackenzie Coleman.
Yes.
And all these people that's done amazing things, and the whole time I'm growing up, you hear about people like the Headhunters, like Blackstone Cherry.
Oh yeah.
So if you're a kid and you're listening to this, there's a possibility, but not only is there a possibility, it's likely that if you want it, then you'll achieve it. You just have to chase it. Don't
That's right.
don't limit yourself to being from a small town, because in reality everybody's from somewhere small.
That's right.
Because you hear people all the time that they'll get interviewed and they'll be like, well, I'm just from a little old small town and wherever. But the difference is mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be awesome to kind of shift the narrative to I'm just from a small town in Kentucky to I'm just from a small town in Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
we can limit ourselves all day long, but
Yeah.
where you are is where you're at.
Exactly.
So, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate
Mhm.
you joining me on my very
Absolutely.
first podcast.
Yeah. It was exciting.
And I hope there are many more. And God bless you and all the wonderful things you do, because
Yeah.
you create an aura around you of it's all right.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
I'm a happy, kind person, and I'm here to help anyone that needs help. And that is very much appreciated.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that I'm grateful that that you've asked me to be on here, and it's a cool opportunity, because I know you're gonna have some people that are some big deals, and I'm honored to be the first one.
Well, thank
So,
you very much.
thank you.
Greatly appreciate
Thank
it.
you.